Hey guys, it's Marshall Mathers the fourth here. I'm going to be making two videos today because of the fact that this video is going to tie in to my previous video that I did before this one that I'm going to upload before I upload this one. And that previous video is going to be called Eminem should have made a Elysium movie soundtrack album and released it on December 9 of 2012 at the age of 40. If I'm able to, of course, make the title of the video that long, which I probably won't because YouTube titles can only be so long, which is honestly fucked up and pisses me off. But if I can, I will make the title that long. But if I can't, I'll try my best to shorten it. But in this video, this will be a video about the fact that I really wish and do believe that Eminem should not have turned down the movie role Elysium. And you know, what's interesting about that is the fact that originally Eminem was going to be in that movie that actually in real life stars Matt Damon. And I think he did a good job in that movie. I actually went to go see it with my dad the year it came out, and I loved the movie. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. But I do think it definitely would have been better had Eminem had actually starred in that movie and had not turned down that role like he actually did, which was really fucked up of him because he really missed out on that chance and opportunity there. And, you know, if he hadn't turned down that movie role, that would have been his third biggest movie role that he would have been in since his 8 Mile movie. And honestly, that would have been fantastic if he had actually gone through with that movie role and had not turned it down, which he definitely should not have done. And I'm fucking pissed at him. I mean, even though I'm an Eminem fan, it's not like I'm going to agree with every decision he makes when it comes to like his rap career. I don't agree with when he chose to release all of his albums except maybe for Music to Be Murdered By. That's the only albums of his that I will make an exception for. But other than that, no other album that he has ever released in the history of his entire rap career I'm okay with or I'm at peace with, because I'm not. Besides his Music to Be Murdered By albums, none of his other rap albums were released the months, days, or especially years that I would have preferred them to have came out or have been released. And I also don't agree with Eminem's decisions when he chooses to turn down so many movie roles like a flat out bitch. And by doing so, he misses out on so many movie opportunities that he could have taken if he wouldn't have been such a stuck up bitch, honestly. But yet he does. And he did that for so long. And he's almost 50 fucking years old. He's 49, but he'll turn 50 this year on October 17 of 2022. And it's just like, the man is old. There's no denying that fact. I mean, he looks young for his age, which is pretty incredible. I'll give him that. But the fact that he turned down so many movie roles is just, it's painful. It's painful because he has only ever been in one big movie role, being his 8 Mile movie that came out way back in 2002 when he was 30 years old. That was his first and only biggest movie role that he ever did throughout his entire career, whether rapping career or acting career. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's outrageous. And that's why I would have wanted Eminem's third biggest movie role to have been the movie Elysium. And I wish more than anything that Eminem would not have turned down that awesome movie role. And I would have wanted that movie to have came out on December 13 of 2012 when Eminem would have been 40 years old exactly. And Of course, that didn't actually happen, but if it had, I would have wanted that movie to have came out in the year 2012, but late 2012, on exactly December 13th of 2012, when Eminem would have been 40 years old. And I mean, that would have been Eminem's third biggest movie role. And you know, what's also interesting about that movie is the fact that Eminem himself was interested in the script. He loved the script. I mean, according to these articles online that you can read, in his own words, he was interested in the script. He thought it was cool. He loved it, whatever. But the only reason he turned it down, which honestly is so very stupid and dumb of himself to have done, the only just stupid, dumb, retarded, idiotic reason why he turned down such an epic, incredible movie role like that was because of the simple, lame, pathetic fact that the director wasn't going to film it in Detroit. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious? You gotta be joking. Eminem turned down that movie role just because of the simple, pathetic, lame fact that the director wasn't going to film it in Detroit, or that the director wasn't going to agree to film that movie in Detroit. And because of that little reason, Eminem's like, I don't want to do it. No thanks. I'm good. I'll pass. Like, Eminem, you are really fucked up for that. I mean, who gives a shit if a movie is going to be filmed in Detroit or not? That is just ridiculous that you would turn down that movie role in the very little chance you're watching this video, which you probably won't and never will. But if you do, I mean, it's just ridiculous that you turned down that movie role. Just ridiculous. Unfucking believable on your part. Because you shouldn't have turned it down. And if you hadn't, that movie probably would have came out a year earlier, in like 2012 instead of 2013. And there's no denying that fact. I mean, the possibility of that movie have been released in 2012 rather than 2013 would have been pretty big if you hadn't turned down that movie role. And if you hadn't, I would have wanted that movie to have came out and have been released on December 13 in the year 2012, when you would have been 40 years old. And that probably would have happened if you hadn't turned down that movie like you did. And it's heartbreaking, it's crushing that you turned down that movie role of Elysium. And because of doing that, it instead went to Matt Damon, who did a good job. I'm not going to lie, he did a good job. I enjoyed the movie. I liked the movie, even though I've only ever seen it once. But I do think it would have been better, and I especially think it would have made way more money than it did if you would have starred in the movie role yourself, like you originally were going to. Because the director wanted to hire you. He wanted to cast you in that movie role for Elysium. And I mean, I'm just pissed. I mean, I don't know if any of you will agree with me on this, but I am just outraged, furious, pissed off that Eminem turned down that movie role, as well as the fact that he turned down the movie role of Southpaw, which would have been a great movie to tie in with his Recovery album, which should have came out on March 18 of 2010. And then his Elysium movie would have been a great movie to tie in with his Marshall Mathers LP2 album, which should have came out at the very fucking latest on April 23 of 2012, when he would have only been 39 years old, still in his 30s and not in his 40s yet. If only that would have happened. If only that would have been the reality of things. How nice that would have been. How great that would have been. But sadly, that didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, these are just kind of two short videos about like the fact that I really wish and do believe that Eminem should have released an Elysium movie soundtrack album on December 9 of 2012 at the age of 40, and then the movie had been released like 4 days after the soundtrack on December 13 of 2012, and have Eminem have actually been in the movie Elysium and not turned it down like a punk like he did. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say in today's video. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I'm out.